Today's quote is entitled, "Is Self-Love a Krishna Conscious Concept?" And I'm bringing this up because sometimes I've spoken about this, and many devotees thought, well, this is not Krishna consciousness, this is some psychological concept or New Age spiritual concept. But in fact, it's not. And I have a quote of Prabhupada talking about self-love, and we can discuss it in the way Prabhupada discusses it. But at least I just wanted to bring to your attention that he did mention this. So it's worth discussing it to see how Prabhupada talked about it and understand how we can apply it. Quote, "So naturally, if you love yourself, then this self is part and parcel of the Superself. Therefore, you love indirectly the Superself. So if I love myself because I am eternal servant of God, therefore, if I actually love myself, I must always engage myself in the service of the Lord. This is love." Srila Prabhupada. Well, there's two things that Prabhupada's saying. One thing is, if I engage in the service of the Lord, or I want to try to serve Krishna, that means I love myself because that's in my self-interest. And the other point is, I'm part of Krishna, so loving myself and loving Krishna, they go together. So this concept of self-love, it could sound self-centered, could sound even materialistic, that I should just do things for myself because I'm a selfish person. And as we know, the whole point of Krishna consciousness is to be selfless. But at the same time, if I don't accept myself, if I don't love myself, then why would I be interested in liberating myself? Why would I be interested in loving Krishna? I have to care about my condition in the material world. I have to help myself. And in many other places, that's how Prabhupada describes self-love. He said, here you're given something very valuable, which is Krishna consciousness. And then if you don't take it, then you're harming yourself, or you're actually envious of yourself. But if you're given Krishna consciousness, you value it, you utilize it for your own benefit and the benefit of others, then you're loving yourself. And again, as Prabhupada said, how can you love yourself and not love Krishna? Because it's the same thing. So if I take care of myself spiritually, at the same time, I'm engaging in Krishna's service. So they're not really two separate things because I'm part of Krishna. So taking care of myself means ultimately serving Krishna. That's the real self-care. So maybe it has a different concept. Yes, that's true. But still, it's not devoid of the concept of self-care. It's just a different kind of self-care, spiritual self-care, you could call it. It is my experience, and I've mentioned this before, that if a devotee comes to a point where he feels like, well, I just don't care, Krishna doesn't care, I don't really want to try, it doesn't matter, that lack of self-care then reflects his efforts in sadhana and in preaching and in service. He just becomes apathetic. So we can see apathy towards oneself then becomes apathy towards service and one's spiritual life, and one's connection with Guru can also become apathetic. Whereas if we take care of ourselves, then we can see that we're more concerned about our spiritual practice, our sadhana, and our service. So you just meditate on this in your own life, and you can see how they're closely connected. When I become apathetic and don't care about myself, I tend not to care about my sadhana. When I care more about myself, then I care more about my sadhana. And the last thing, self-acceptance, is very important. Sometimes we can't accept ourselves for where we're at, but it's necessary. And so that's a kind of self-love. Not that we give in to our weaknesses or we rationalize them, but we accept ourselves with all our faults and we try to improve from there. Hare Krishna. If you like this video, you can subscribe below. Also, I'd really appreciate it if you share this video with others, if you comment on it, if you like it, do whatever you have to click to share it, because I think a lot of devotees would appreciate getting these videos I try to take our philosophy and put it in a practical way so we know how to apply it in daily activity. And this is one of the services I do. And I want to reach as many devotees as possible. If you can help me, I'd appreciate it so much. Thank you.